Lots of things that goes on behind the scenes that nobody sees. Coming home one day from work, and he was led there, and he was saying, I nearly did something stupid today. But we also go through some really, really dark times too. And I was like sat on the stairs, and he basically come out and said, "Is Dad gonna die?" He asked the question. You were there, and that's what they'll remember.
Right, we're back, episode 40, and it's only right for the milestone. We brought in the main man, Mr. Mark Will, and his lovely wife, Steph. Been about a year, I think, since we last had Mark on, so another year further into your diagnosis. Tell us what sort of how the last, because everyone who's watched will know, obviously, about your diagnosis and how it came about. Tell us sort of what the last year has been like. What some of the changes? You know, what is everyday like for you now in the last sort of 12 months?
Been a hell of a roller coaster, really, haven't there, to be fair. Obviously, when Mark first had his diagnosis, well, symptoms will be 2 years now in October, so we're 2 years in now. He's still doing really well. He's still on his feet, just about. His speech obviously is affected a lot more now, so it will be me doing most of the talking today. With input from Mark. Yeah, and what he does say is always worth being said, and to be fair, it's always something good. Like
she doesn't say that at home, does she?
He's never one to shy of words anyway, is he? So I'm sure you'll find a way to get him across to us.
I don't know what happens, because he might think of something really funny and he's already said it in his head, so he's already laughing. I'm like, what are you laughing at? You haven't even said it. Yeah, you can't put it out, but you think
you've already gone with that.
But mate, when I was making that video for you, you said, "Any update?" Because I'm 12 months into an 18-month diagnosis by you. It's like, fucking hell, sorry, but I'll put my finger up my ass.
Yeah, so obviously things has changed dramatically. I know when Joe did our video that we shared for awareness around Mark's journey. I know there was a lot of things that was explained throughout that, but there is lots of things that goes on behind the scenes that nobody sees. Obviously, you see Mark's Instagram and social media, and it's all this big positive, the way he's training, the things he's just getting on with. But yeah, that's all well and good. It's absolutely amazing. But we also go through some really, really dark times too. And the things that we actually got to do to get to that point as well, for him to just go to the gym, it's a big effort. Like coming here today, it's a big effort.
Make us feel guilty.
No, but it's good because it gets us out as well. Do you know what I mean? We've got to do these things, and we'll keep doing it as long as we can. But yeah, I think we've had to sort of, the teamwork that we've had and the relationship we've had to build for this, even though we've been together 11 years, married 7, this now have brought us closer than ever, really, hasn't it? Because people just say, yeah, we've had to, like, people just say to me, how are you so strong? How are you doing that? Like, when being strong is your only option, that's, when you got 2 kids, we got a young family, you just got to get on with it. There is no other option. So yeah, it's been tough, and it's been tough adapting, because obviously Mark was always the leader in our family dynamic, and everything has changed now. Like, I don't know what I'm doing day to day. I don't know my arse from my elbow half the time. And Mark was always the planner. He was always looking like towards the future. He was always, I've got an idea, or the things. Well, he still say now, I've had an idea. I've been thinking. I'm making it, for fuck's sake, what's he gonna call it all now? You know what I mean? So yeah. So the whole, how my role has changed as a wife and as a mother has been hard, because technically my first role now is a carer, and to be a carer, a wife and a mum, and try and be me as well is really, really tough. And I'm being pulled from all directions, and it's like, Mark needs me for something, the kids need me for something, and I'm like, well, hang on, let's just pick my favourite today, as it'll piss me off the most, you know what I mean? But it is like that, it's just battling every day, and you just kind of, we have got to be patient with one another, haven't we?
Sorry to jump in. It's been like a roller coaster 12. Like I feel like the last 12 months has probably been a lot more mental for you than maybe like the 6 months or whatever it was prior to that. Because like I was saying to Joe, when Mark come last time, he was still out on his e-bike.
Yeah.
He was doing the bike challenges. Obviously now, like you said, I've had to kind of take a back seat a little bit. I was sort of fast. And how sort of hard have you found it to kind of adapt to that as a married couple in terms that you've gone from, because up until a stage, although you was, like you said, still doing a lot for him, he was very independent. You know, I remember popping up the house and like you was telling me about fell over in the kitchen and pulled yourself up and it was doing house and has it been like, did you find it kind of went from like 0 to 100, or was it kind of, did it ease into it, or?
It's hard to explain really, isn't it? For others looking in. You went quick.
Because it's every day.
Yeah, it's because we adapt every day. Whereas, like, you've probably seen a big difference in Mark now since the last time you've seen him, because you may not have seen him for a couple of weeks. But with us, I just think, oh no, I think you're plateauing now. You haven't seen no changes for a while.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I'd say about 2-3 months now. Yeah.
Is there anything different you've been doing to see that like plateau? Is it?
You need support all the time now, don't know. Listen, you can't be like left on your own for like a long period of time. Yeah, any supplements?
No.
Cannabis, yeah. Like you have been using that now every night before bed. Because Mark wakes up in the morning and he has excruciating like pain and stiffness in his legs. But you have been taking that to try and ease that a little bit. It doesn't seem to be having a huge effect for the morning, but it helps you sleep, doesn't it?
Is that the oil?
Yeah.
The cannabis oil? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, I suppose, like you said, because we was big on, you was telling us last time how big you was on like your health regime and routine of like you said like obviously the doctors are quick to pay you off with just take these tablets, and like you said the doctor was kind of like, well what will be.
Yeah.
But like you said back a year ago, you was so infatuated with like doing your own research and I've seen read online you can take this to help, and Christ, you even given me health tips on mushroom extracts the other day. I spoke to someone about starting taking them, and he was like, they like, speak to Mark Will, he's all over it.
Got a story about mushrooms.
I texted him, I was like, Mark, can you point me in the right direction of some mushroom? And he kind of like messaged back as if to say like, well, how long's a piece of string, man? Like, what do you know what I mean? What are you going to use it for?
Talking of mushrooms, anyway, you've been having mushrooms in chocolate bar, right? Yeah. It was called the trippy bar, wasn't it? Right? Okay, so like we was having a quiet night in the one night. The kids were in bed, or I don't even think we had Arch. I think we only had Neve. And he said, I think I'm going to try a bit of that chocolate. I was like, right, okay. So anyway, so you had a bit, but you had a bit more than like what you would usually have.
Classic.
Yeah. So I was sat there with my glass of wine now, and it was about an hour went by, and he was like, well, I don't know, I don't really feel anything. He's like, I'm going to bed, he said. Well, anyway, so I helped him up off the chair. We got to the bottom of the stairs, and he went, help. I thought, fuck, here we go. I turned him around. I said, should we go and have a sit back down? He was like, yeah. Sat him down on the chair. Now I thought, well, I'll go and get my bottle of wine now. I'll carry on and let him enjoy the ride. Like
the night's young.
I know. He was saying, I feel like I'm underwater. So we ended up putting like like a sea life thing on YouTube. So
make it 10 times worse.
Yeah, he was just laid in the chair like that.
How long did it last for?
About 40 minutes, wasn't they? It wasn't very long. Hour max, really, wasn't it? And I said, I was like, he said, I'm having a trip, and I said, yeah. I said, you're fine. I said, just enjoy it. Just, you can't panic, So we just sat there watching this thing on the telly.
Yeah, on me.
I'm like, I'm going to die.
He was just allowing his mind to go wherever it needed to go. And then after about an hour, he was like, oh, that's all right. I feel all right now. And that was it.
Is it? Are you still big on like your vitamins and stuff in the mornings? And I can imagine like it'd probably be hard for you now to do the ice bath, I'm guessing, with the in and out. But you still like cold? Is it like still doing any sort of cold treatment at the minute? Oh, your chamber. You got your chamber as well, haven't you? Your hyperbaric chamber.
Yeah, we did have that. I went back yesterday. It was just costing us a lot of money every month for something that we didn't really know that was 100% working. Mark did see benefits from the hyperbaric chamber, especially getting out straight away. He would feel a bit more refreshed, a bit more energized, sleeping better. But it was only like short term. Yeah. Then he would like sort of like dip again then. So it was a lot of money to keep up basically. And plus I get my dining room table back now.
What does a day in the life look like? Like just your regular day?
Right. Oh, where do we start? So obviously I get up. Obviously the kids are up then for school as well. We've got a puppy now as well.
I have seen, yeah.
Yeah, Wilson.
As if we didn't have enough going on.
Yeah. I don't know if one more person says that to me.
Whose idea was the puppy? I bet it was.
Can't complain then.
But no, he's like my little buddy. He's like my therapy buddy now, isn't he? Yeah, so we get up. Mark got like a little buzzer in the bedroom that he'll ding when he's awake. So that's coffee time. So I go up, take him his coffee, help him sit up in bed. Then I'll go down, sort the kids out. I usually leave you to it then for a little while, come round and I go downstairs, sort the kids out, get them to school, catch up on the washing, on all that jazz. Come back from school run then, breakfast for Mark, usually, and do a bit of breakfast, sort his meds out. Then he gets up, come downstairs, you'll shower, shave, all that jazz. Get dressed, and begin our day then, don't we? We literally have loads going on. It does take us a while to get ready in the morning, so we can't be up and out early. It's hard work sometimes. So like 12 o'clock is usually our time where we kind of plan things, and wherever we go on that day, whether or not it's the gym, or whether you got physio, we tend to spend a lot of time together. It is hard because you do get on each other's nerves. It's not normal to be spending this time together.
You're the same as any other couple, really.
Yeah,
it's like, you know, if you spend long, like all day every day, like how many times do you argue with your missus on all days? You know what I mean? Because you're together all day every day. So like, just because you're doing a lot of caring for it, it's still the same, isn't it? You're still both the same people. It's not like you're prone to getting on each other's nerves every now and then. So I bet it can be hard.
Yeah, it's really tough, isn't it? Like, I know I love him to death, but sometimes I just want to... and exactly the same he wants to me. Yeah, and exactly how he wants to kill me sometimes, you know, it's just...
Do you find space for yourself sometimes? Like, is that getting harder, or is it...
It is hard now, really hard. I don't have any time to myself, really. So, from the minute I open my eyes to the minute I go to sleep, somebody needs me. Yeah. Which is fine, you know, I'm happy with that. But we was having a chat with me the other day that I just had like a bit of a meltdown. I'm struggling. Like, who wouldn't be in this scenario? You know, it's tough, yeah. And to go to like you know, caring for your husband at the age of 33 is not the life I signed up for. But you know, this is the card we're dealt with, and we're dealing with it as best we can. And to be fair, like, I think we are pretty much smashing it as much as we can. And
from the outside looking in, that's exactly like you would never think that, like you said, you have them moments where you have the meltdowns and you want to kill each other. For us, I know we only get to see like the social media posts, and obviously there's people who obviously your friends and stuff will probably know a little bit more, but you would never think it would do from the outside. Like even the video he done, you just look like you've got everything so nailed down.
Look like we got our shit together.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but trust me, we have.
How important do you find it is, like you said, to be able to sit down in the night, maybe when the kids are in bed, have that bit of quiet, and where you can sit and chat and you can express, like, look, Mark, I'm having a bit of a tough day, and vice versa. I can imagine there's a lot of days, like you said to me, where you sit there and say, oh, I've had a bit of a dark day today, and you know, I kind of guess that's like a bit of therapy in itself for you, just to be able to bounce it off each other.
like we was having a chat the other day doing, like, I struggle to open up with my emotions when it comes to that, because I just feel that my emotions isn't relevant in this. This is just stupid, but I just feel like, how can I be feeling like this when it's him that's actually going through it? How can I say, how can I mourn to him about how I'm feeling with everything that he's going through? And he was like, Steph, you need to speak to me. At the end of the day, you were going through it as well, and it's only now recently that I've started to like open up about it and, you know, admit that I do need help and that I am struggling with it. You know, like Mark said, you're not Superwoman, you can't do everything, you know, and being a woman, you just crack on with it, and you don't even think about anything else. I just put emotions aside and just get on with it, and it's a job I have to do. But at the same time, I am only human as well.
Of course.
And I'm allowed to have those sad times, and I'm allowed to be angry. Like, cause I was saying to you when I was saying, like, I grieve like the life we used to have. You know, just getting up in the morning and just being able to go to the gym, or just being able to go for a walk up the mountain, or go for a beach walk, just like that. Like, nothing is easy for us now. Everything, things that people would take advantage of. You know,
this might be a bit of a tough question to ask. So if you don't want to answer it, we'll be happy to cut it out. But
go on.
Do you sometimes kind of, because it's not a victim mentality at all, but do you sometimes sit there and think, why us? Mm-hmm. Why was we dealt this card, and everyone else kind of can go on? Do you know what I mean? Can go on as normal.
Yeah, every day we think that, don't we?
I know.
Yeah.
Really?
It's draining, isn't it, if you think of that all the time? Because the way we look at it
can weigh you down, I suppose.
Yeah, you know, like we've said in the past in our previous video about that we was chose for this lifestyle. Like, you know, not everybody, not your average guy could be dealing with this like you have.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't. They give up straight away. So I feel that the purpose of how we was dealt this is because we were strong enough to be able to deal with it and to be able to help others that's going through the exact same, and just to show them what actually can be done. So that, I know it's a stupid way of looking at it, but that's how I get through it. It's because we was chose to do it. And the same, like I know I've mentioned previously as well about when Neve was born with her complications. You know, I did everything by the book. Do you know what I mean? I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, I ate well, I did everything. I was consultant-led, I made sure that everything was fine. And then we had the problems with her, like she was tube-fed for a year, and I managed her airway for a year. So was that a test for this?
Yeah. I think like everything not happens for a reason. I mean...
Yeah, definitely.
Well, it does, but I mean, I'm sure if you could, you would change things. But at the same time, like, I don't know, looking around at like the people around, the amount of impact that you've had, like, it's going to, it's crazy, I think, like the ripple effect of
100%. It's like
what's happening with everyone around you. Do you know what I mean?
It brought so much trauma that did as well, and I don't think with everything that we had to do for Neve, I don't think that sort of trauma ever left me. I think it was always with me, and then when we got it with this, it was like a double whammy. Because I was just kind of getting over there, and Neve was over it. You know, she had her surgeries, and she had everything that she needed doing, and she was like on the right path. And then it was like...
Finally.
Yeah, we was like, finally, we're on the right path now. We're over. We got our happy family, healthy family. Everyone's fine. Bang. Have that.
How long? I've obviously asked him, but how long did it take it? How did you take the initial news? Like, obviously, because you said, Martin, last time you was in that, although you hadn't had the official diagnosis, you deep down, you knew, and although you wanted to stay positive for the family, deep down you just kind of had that gut feeling. Was you the same, or was it kind of like you didn't want to?
No.
Because sometimes you don't. You know what I mean? It's like with my old man when he had the lump. It was kind of like it. I just remember saying to myself, and I was saying, "It's fucking no, it's all right. It's nothing. You'll just cut it out, and I'll be it." I remember saying that up until even the day of the result. So was you kind of like the same? Was there a bit of denial, or was it kind of like deep down you knew, or?
It was a bit of both, really, because the more Mark was like telling me about it, the more convinced I was getting. But then I didn't want to believe it until we actually had the diagnosis. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I didn't want to say, yeah, that's that. And I was like, I kept saying, no, wait till we've had the test results. Wait till we know where we are. So obviously that day we went down to get the results. We sat in the office and he was like, everything is pointing towards motor neurons disease. I'm really struggling to find something that is something else. I really want it to be something else, but he said, I'm struggling to find anything. So yeah, and that was it. I sort of like broke down. You kind of just thought, well, I told you so. Excuse me. So we got in the car. I was like in shock then. I was just like, what the hell just happened? We got in the car. He went, right, go and get a Costa and a KFC now then. So
that's what I was going to say next. What was the drive home like?
We went and got a Costa. We ended up going up Cwm Farm Drive, didn't we? And we sat up there, like, and we was watching the bikes and that go through the mountain. And then we had like a little bit of a moment. And he was like, right, today is the first day of the rest of our lives. We got to make it count. And that's when his mentality switched straight away. You just like had this button, didn't know.
It was instant then.
Yeah, it was. He had his like sort of down times before the diagnosis. I mean, that was horrific. Those like 3 weeks, you know, it was really, really bad. And he was like sleeping on a mattress on the floor in the living room. I couldn't get him up. And I can remember coming home one day from work and he was led there and he was saying, I nearly did something stupid today. And I don't know if you mind me talking about that. And I said, what do you mean? He said, I've had enough. I want out. And he said, I went to do it today. I said, went to do what? And I needed to hear him say it. I needed to hear the words come out of his mouth. And he said, I went to Brecon and I went and got a rope and I went and got everything that I needed to get. He said, and I started driving through. And then this bird just swooped down in front of the car and I stopped the car. He said, and there was like a moment then that hit him thinking, today's not the day.
And
then, And also, when the one shop you went to was shut when you went to go to what you needed to do. And I can remember just breaking down. I have never cried so hard. I was like, now is not the time. I said, you know, what you were going through, I completely get. And I respect your wishes. I said, but it's not yet. I said, you got too much to live for. You've got too much. People still need you. Yeah, we need you. I need you. And I was begging him. I was on my hands and knees begging him, saying, please, please, you can't do this. And he was like, oh, all right. And I think that for you then was like, fuck. No.
I was going to say, Mark, on that day, where you're on your knees begging, did that switch you out of that mind frame instantly, or did you have to kind of go away and think?
Yeah, I'd do it for you, didn't I?
Yeah, no one else. You had to do it for yourself. You had to put in your head. You had to live for you, not because everyone else needed it, but because you deserve to live.
Do you still like get that now? Because I'm sure every day's hard, isn't it? I mean, it's not just gone away, like, is it?
Yeah. You had it the other night, didn't you? Yeah. He, because sometimes if he's like really emotional about things, he might not be able to talk to me about stuff, so he may like text me or like message me on his app or wherever. And he said on there, I feel suicidal again. And like, what do you say to that? It's just so difficult, isn't
it's
it?
So easy for us to say, you know what I mean? Not so much you because you're living and breathing it with him, but it would be easy for me or you to say to him, fucking hell, Mark, snap out of it, you know?
Yeah.
You've got
it's not as
think
easy
of this,
as
think
that,
of that, but you're living and it's a 24/7 reality. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you can say, oh, wait, you know, see how you feel in the morning. Perhaps you might feel a bit better in the morning. It's 24/7 for you. So
you just kind of have like a quiet half hour to yourself to know. It's like, you know, when Mark's having a bad day and he kind of just got to let him come out of it yourself. Because there's nothing you can say, there's nothing you can do that will change his mentality at that time. And he's that strong and that strong-minded. You can't flip yourself out of it, can't you? And it's a constant battle. in and out, in and out, in and out. And because he's like it, obviously it has effect on me as well. But then when I'm feeling it, it also has an effect on Mark. So we are literally, it's like bat and ball.
Yeah.
Literally all the time.
Just wondering, like, for me anyway, if I'm feeling a bit down or low or whatever, I like to like keep busy and make sure I'm doing things. Like for you, not necessarily being able to do that, like living, I suppose you're living in your head. Is that like something which has been like a dramatic change, having to, you can't just be like, I feel a bit shit, I'm going to go out and do a run or whatever. You've got to like deal with actually what's coming in and address it, I suppose.
Anyway, that's one.
It's good, yeah.
Yeah.
Head on, you got to deal with it there and then. Yeah.
Don't let things build up, like you got to attack it, like, yeah.
Yeah, because you know, like you said, when you keep busy, that's one of my coping mechanisms. I keep busy, you know, I'm under a mile an hour all the time, and I make him dizzy. He just say to me, "Will you just sit down and do it?" But then there's things that got to be done though as well. If they're not done, then that's wrong then. If that's not done, do you know what I mean? You can't bloody win.
You're so, because you're so positive on social media, and like pretty much everything you post is, you know, like you do touch on the dark days, but there's a lot of like, you look at the positive side of things and you're just so motivational, so inspirational, not just to me, but the community, to the MND community, to Aptal areas and all. I think the entire town has been uplifted. But obviously, like you say, you do have them dark days. What kind of... Because it's hard to understand, because obviously, like I said, you live in it 24/7. But what kind of triggers, what separates a good day from a bad day? Because ultimately, you're doing, you're living the same way and doing the same thing 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I guess what I'm trying to get is what can trigger a day becoming a good day, or what can trigger a day becoming a bad day?
It's the little things. It's the happy things.
Yeah.
As well.
Can be good and bad.
Yeah, because like, say for an example. Yeah. It's like a constant reminder of the things that he can't do anymore. Do you know what I mean? So, like, for example, then when we went away back a couple of weeks ago, obviously he was in a wheelchair. We didn't have a scooter then because it was still being repaired. So he was in a chair. So obviously he was being pushed around everywhere. And that takes your independence from him straight away. And usually if he's in a scooter, he can like scoot about himself. And then obviously Archie wanted to climb down like over the rocks and go into the sea and go onto the sand. Well, obviously that's all the things that Mark used to do with them. So Mark had to watch like from afar. And that's hard. And it's hard to watch that, knowing that what's going through his head as well. And I can know just by looking at him, like how he's feeling.
So sometimes like an happy memory.
Yeah.
Or an happy moment for the kids.
Yeah.
Can send you into a bit of a spiral, I suppose.
It does. That's one of the main things, really, isn't it? Yeah. Get home. Yeah. Yeah, because like you're always in the moment now, and you do enjoy like the moment, and you enjoy watching the kids doing different things. So then it's after it hits him thinking, oh, that was hard today, that was tough, But yeah, put on a front, yeah. But like the kids, obviously. Sorry.
All right. Take your time.
Thing is, they know that you were present. They know that you were there. Do you know what I mean? Even though you're not doing all these hunky-dory massive things with them, you were there, and that's what they'll remember.
Yeah. No, I mean,
I'm not gonna get upset today.
you can do whatever you need to do. Do you know what I mean? There's no.
I had a meltdown in the doctor's office the other day, didn't I? Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I told them straight, didn't I? And I went into it, honestly, I don't know what I went, like all psycho mode, didn't I?
You just cheering it on.
I did, I went in hard on him, boy. I literally went, I was going mental, wasn't I? I was going, but we're not having no help, and I feel like we're on our own. And I was going nuts, wasn't I?
Do you feel better for sometimes for getting it out in the open? So, and the same thing, like, if you're having a bad day, like I imagine some people's bad days in comparison to your bad days are not even on the same wavelength, but Do you feel better sometimes for having like you want to kill each other some days? Sometimes do you get like a bit of a release from thinking, get up, like just get out in the open and get off your chest?
Yeah, we had a row the other. When I say a row, we don't row. We just like it's just the look off, Mark. That's when I know I'm in deep shit. You know what I mean? And we had lots of things going on with the house, and like Mark was getting like agitated because he was knackered, and there was still loads of things going on, and obviously that's, you know, it's a lot for Mark to take on now when there's lots of things happening in there. So I basically told him, I said, look, this is what's happening, deal with it, blah, 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 blah. And I went on, and he was going irate, he stormed off upstairs showing off like you do, right? yeah. He did still, he stormed off upstairs.
I wish he could.
Crawled up and I just tried to, I said to him, oh, Mark, come on now, calm down like that. And he's pulling my arm away like that. He's pushing away from me, like, get away, I don't want to talk to you. So off he went. But anyway, I left him for about an hour, something like that, hour and a half. I went in and checked on him, he was sleeping. So then I shut the door back up. I went back up there and I said, do you want a cup of coffee? And we just pretend then that everything
didn't happen.
it's fine, right? Do you want a cup of coffee? Yeah, so I go down, get him a cup of coffee, bring it up. And then he goes like that then.
Bring it in.
Yeah,
bring it in.
That's when we know it's over then. Do you know? But it's normal, and like what we've had to try and learn to do is it's all right to argue, it's all right to shout to one another, but never take it personal.
Yeah.
Because like, and I've taken me ages to master them there, because I always used to take everything personal. I always used to think everything was my fault, but it's not. It's just I'm the closest thing to Mark. I'm going to be his punch bag. Yeah. I'm going to be the one that's going to take the brunt of everything. So I've got to like put my big girl pants on and just like grow a pair basically, because you know you've got to toughen up a little bit. And I don't like confrontation. I don't like arguing. But. With being with him, man, it's just like, oh, that's a bloody another story and all.
No.
Yeah, with the hotel.
Here we go.
Sorry, here we go. Right, because obviously Mark's losing his voice now. So obviously he says to me, Steph, you are my voice now. And you've always been the one that, with the confrontation. I don't like it, right? I feel awkward. I just don't like it, right? So we went to Bryn Meadows now. In the
I remember I seen the post, yeah.
Right, so obviously I won't go into detail, but basically it wasn't wheelchair friendly as it said, right? So we wasn't happy with our experience. We went back to the reception. He was like, right, go and tell him. He said, right. He said, you've got to tell him now.
No pressure. Get up here and tell him.
Right. I'm like, and he's in his wheelchair now. We can wheel across, and he's watching me now. Right? He got his little beady eye on me now. He said, "Go on, I want to see how you handle this." That's what he'd say to me, right?
Like a test. This is a test.
Instant.
See how good your confrontation is.
Do you know what I mean? Shitting myself, anxiety through the roof. Right?
We'll train you up.
Right? Anxiety is going mental. But anyway, so I approach this lady now. I tell her out my feelings, blah, blah, blah. And anyway, I come back. I went, how'd I do? He went, it was all right.
Could have been better.
I am getting better though, and I am getting better.
Do you give us some tips then in the night, was it?
Give her a workshop then. He did a full workshop.
What animal?
Always.
Physical. This is a bit of a personal question. So if you don't want to answer it or you want to cut it out, no problem at all. Obviously, you've got 2 young kids. Are they sort of aware of the situation, or but have that come from like they've picked up on it themselves, or did they come a time where you kind of had to sit them down and be like, this is the situation? And
we tried to protect them as much as we could at the start. But then obviously Mark's symptoms started being a lot more noticeable. Neve, not so much, because she's 4 now in a couple of weeks. But obviously, so she's grown up. She haven't known any different with Dad then, really. Archie, on the other hand, he's 8. He's switched on. He doesn't miss a trick. So we started off by basically saying Dad's legs are no longer working, and obviously his voice is affected. So Dad got this muscle in his throat that the muscle in his throat is broke and it doesn't work properly. And he was like, well, why can't the doctors fix it then, Dad? And then we were like, well, they're trying. We're hopefully, he said, well, I think you're going to get better. And he said to us the other day, he said, do you know what I want for Christmas? And we was like trying to guess. And he turned around and he said, I want my dad to be better. Oh. So he's such a gentle soul. And we had the conversation with him. He basically come out right and said, because I could hear him and Mark talking up on the bed. And I was like sat on the stairs and he basically come out and said, is Dad going to die? You've asked the question. And we kind of said, we answered it in a way, didn't we? As in, well, everyone's going to die, but everyone's going to die. It's just the illness that Dad got might take him a little bit sooner than everybody else. And then Mark turned around and said to him, but you'll be all right. You'll be all right, though. But, well, no, you'll be all right. And he went, yeah. What time's Jacob coming over?
Typical 8-year-old.
Literally, and that is how resilient he is. And he never mentioned, and he hasn't mentioned it since. He knows Dad isn't well. He knows the name of the condition. He've asked, and it was like a massive weight off our shoulder for us, because we were including him and we're not isolating him. He's included. He knows what's going on, like all the events that we've had happening. We've explained to him. And he's just so resilient. They just adapt, and he have been incredible. Literally, like with his sister as well. You know, if I got to do something for Mark, or I'm in the bathroom with him, and like she's screaming for me, and he'd go, oh, come on, Eve, come by, your mum's busy with Dad a minute, and he's had to step up because he is a young carer himself. Yeah. You know, and he is. You know, even though he's only 8, he helps Mark. He takes his plate away for him, doesn't he? He gives you a drink or passes you things. He's a special kid, and there's not many out there like him. He is an absolute tonic, he is, and he's amazing. Hopefully you'll watch this in however many years and think, you'll be able to, because you probably don't even realise he's doing it at this age, do we? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because you're so young, you don't do anything. Yeah. Everything you do at that age is out of pure intention, and there's no thought process behind it. So and his dad is his hero, like literally, you know, because when we was at rugby the other week, he was saying, oh, Mum, I just want to impress Dad. Just done it, you know, he's really, Dad is everything. I'm sure he's his dad's hero as well. Yeah, 100%. Definitely. He is, he's a little darling. He keeps us sane anyway, doesn't he? What do you mean? Yeah, rugby being amazing. Someone was telling me the other day he's like a super athlete, and he's I can't remember. It might have been Curtis Hale actually. Someone was telling me at the gym. They was like, "You want to see Mark Will's kid playing rugby?" They said on the weekend. He's like a little animal. Yeah, he's strong as hell as well, isn't he? Archie 8-pack Williams. That's right. Someone was telling me he's shredded up. Pull-ups. Yeah, he's been doing them every day since he was about 5 or 6. Not many kids who can do that, is it? And I mean proper pull-ups, mine right up to the chin. He's a beast. Yeah. Do you reckon like that's how he's expressing himself in a way? Because 100%. He probably is going through it, and he's just definitely maybe not like when you're young. How do you express it? How do you talk about things? It's difficult, isn't it? But he's probably maybe putting it into that. I don't know. He's one of them kids that will talk as well, though. Isn't he? You know, he's having like support in school as well. The school have been really, really good. You know, he opens up to like Mark's dad, doesn't he? Yeah, his teacher is unreal. He's been really, really good with them. And he got the same teacher as what he had last year, haven't he? Mr. Waith, Tom Waith at Tulare Street campus. Yeah, really, really good with him. That's good though, and it's brilliant that. Yeah. I think it shows as well that sometimes with a job as like a teacher, it's not just as simple as go in, teach the kids and go on. There is like he's obviously got some sort of he's obviously connected with him on some sort of level to be able to take it in on his own hands to support him, and it's good. He said the one day, come home from school the one day, he went, I was sat on the buddy bench today, Mum, because I was feeling sad. So Mr. Waith come over and played rugby with me and give me a coach. I like that. That's what he said. He's a darling. Do you kind of like, obviously you were like it's Mark's full-time care, like so do you pull in a lot of like your parents and Mark's parents? Do you have to fall back on them quite a lot, or you kind of like self sort of, no, I'm going to do it, it's my job? And everything caring for you wise I do at the minute. Nobody else really helps with that because Mark won't have it. He did let his dad put his socks on the other day, right? I give him a lesson in that. But they've got more of like a backseat role, as in like looking after the kids, you know, helping out with some shopping now and again if I need it. They've been helping us out with the cleaning out the back, you know, helping us with the dog, bit of food now and again, like Mark's brother to make us food, and I can chuck it in the freezer. So we have got a huge family support network, and we're very, very lucky to have that. But not just family, friends as well. Like even like Mark's friends has become my friends. Do you know, my go-to people now as well. If I need anything, I'll ring Peg, or I'll ring Lyndon, or I'll ring Stingy, or any of the boys really. Yeah. Like they've become more my friends than like my friends have, really, because I see them a lot more. So we wouldn't be able to do what we do without the people and the support that we've had.
Sorry, go on.
Weekend. Day in.
The decking.
The decking.
I got it, look.
Sorry, I was away with the fairies then. So Luke come up and done the decking, and your nephew Nathan, didn't we? And we've had all that done now. Just like literally like a weekend, it was just done. Anything that we're asking for is just done.
I bet people don't know where to put themselves, do they? They probably want to help you, don't they?
Yeah.
But it's like they don't want to tread on your toes either, because you don't want everyone around all the time, do you? Probably you want to live your own life. And
yeah, we've just sort of, we've got to. There's no other way to do it. We can't get through it without the support of others. Like, I mean, like Mark had a fall in the bathroom back a couple of weeks ago. You know, that was a story. Bollock naked on the floor. Just got off the toilet as well. Just laid there on the floor. Fucking put an hole in the bathroom wall. I don't know what he does when
no room for any self-dignity there. It's like, this is the situation.
I opened the door. I thought, oh, fucking hell. What am I supposed to do? Yeah. I was tugging him and pulling him. I was like, I ain't going to get you up, Mark. Hey, what do we do now? So in the end, I had to ring Aled and Curtis. They only lived down.
That was the day I come round, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, to do some filming. Yeah,
that's right. We done the filming then with Joe, didn't we? Jesus. Yeah. So so I got the boys on speed dial now. If anything like that happens.
When you first started online, expressing yourself, and you could see straight away you had like people were almost engrossed in it straight away. They couldn't believe like that your outlook, your positivity, your mentality on it. It's almost now become like a cult movement. I mean, wherever you're going up there, you see everyone with the MN, the Defiance T-shirts, the logo, the tattoo you got on. You see that everywhere. Amount of people got it tattooed on T-shirts. When you first started, did you ever think it would go the way it did? Because it's like, I keep saying it, I never thought you'd see the town come together in a way it is, albeit it's over something as tragic as this, but it is mental what you've done and the impact you've had on although we're a small community, we're not really, when you think there's a couple of thousand people in the town, it's almost everyone is like just praying and doing what they can to kind of like support. Did you ever think you would get, because you've got like this cult like following online, he's like a superstar he's like one of them Instagram celebrities now.
It's mental, because like literally we bought 20 Under Armour t-shirts, right? And he said, I'm going to get these printed, I'm going to design the t-shirt. I thought, all right, love. So obviously he designed it, we had it printed. I think you and Liam BT did it together, didn't you? We had it printed from AJM, so big shout out to Matt as well down there. And it just went crazy. People like messaging us, they can we have a t-shirt, and we were like, hang on a minute, there's something's happening here, do you know what I mean? And the next thing we know, we've sending t-shirts to California, Australia, Poland, literally like Boston.
They were like gold dust to start, weren't they? I remember I had a text off him. He was like something like, the eagle has landed. Check your back gate, like ran the back. I was like, fucking yes, I got one. Like, I got one of the original, the proper job Under Armour one. I was like, look, I got an Under Armour one. No, like a Willy Wonka golden ticket, like. He's out on your bike, wasn't he? And he said he seen my truck by the back gate, just lost secret passage over the fence.
But yeah, so we have gone a bit slow on the clothing front. Probably my fault. We've had that much going on.
I think everyone in friggin'...
I know. I think everyone
in the town have got one. That's what it is.
But yeah, so we still having people ask for t-shirts. So we have got to put another order in now. So if anybody is interested, just drop us a message and. See what I did there? Do you see what I did there?
That's
She should be a podcaster,
She can
mate,
start
shouldn't she?
promoting myself, she can.
I should start my own, shouldn't I?
For sure.
Just want to quickly touch on before we wrap it up. Mark's still training a couple of times a week down with Di down the gym. How are you? Not to blow smoke up Di's ass, but how are you finding the training with Di? Because Di's such a motivational guy in himself, and he's like got such a positive outlook on everything. How are you finding the training with him, and how important do you think that is for your mental and your physical health? Because I don't think no one would look down on it if he was to just say, I'm not fucking doing it no more, it's too much effort, I get too tired, I'm not doing it. But week in, week out, without fail, like Di says, it's like he could be feeling like shit and he's still here and he gets it done. So how important have that been, just kind of in general, for your mental and your physical well-being?
Well, we missed one.
Yeah, you did miss one the other week because he said it because you was just getting that knackered. But now we said, we'll try and do it every other week. But then you even felt even worse. He was like, because he hadn't been there. And do you know what I mean? So he was like, at least if he's tired, he knows why he's tired and exhausted because he'd just done an hard session in the gym. And like the gym and exercise was always a big part of Mark's life before MND. So it was important for us for it to still be part of your life, really, innit?
One day now.
Are you worked hard for that? That's 5,000 calories a day. That's what that does for you.
It's mad as well because you have like physically you haven't. I know like you're struggling with your speech and your walking a little bit, but like you see a lot of cases of MND and they kind of just deteriorate, don't they?
Yeah,
like
frail.
you haven't. I don't think you look like you've done. You look like you've got bigger. Do you know what I mean? Like I remember last time you come, you said it was like 5,000 calories a day, like on creatine, bulking powders and stuff. Like, is it hard to keep that? Like, do you notice if you slack off the diet a bit, it comes down, or is it?
Yeah, it does. Don't you do see a change then? And you haven't got like the only tiny bit of wastage you got is in the back of your shoulders there, haven't you? And you wouldn't even notice that really, and a little bit on his hand. But other than that, like he's constantly in the mirror. Like that, and it's like, no, you're still a beast, babe. You're still a beast.
You look really well in your face, though, as well, don't you? Like,
he's like the healthiest you've looked in forever.
Like I said, apart from obviously the speech and your walking, you look exactly the same as you probably did a year ago. Yeah. Probably better, to be honest. Yeah. So it's crazy that, like, I know whatever you're doing, you know what I mean? There's got to be something to, like you say, you've done so much research and done so much stuff outside of the doctor's office. It's got to be working. I don't care what anyone says. And
what are they doing? Yeah. They saying to him, how are you doing it? And Mark can't answer it because he's just carrying on as he normally would. And it's like, use it or lose it. Yeah. That's the mentality we've had. And obviously, so exercise have always been big part of Mark's life, wherever he's been on the bike or wherever he's been in the gym lifting weights. And obviously his training has adapted and changed over the last 2 years. There's some at the start he was like in the gym. Big thanks to Di as well because he's been he adapts it to wherever he needs it that day. Like if he thinks that he can do some weights this week, we'll have some weights. If it's just functional stuff, then we'll do that. He was? He told you no because he wanted to do the leg. He did. He wanted to do the leg extension, and Mark turned around and Di turned around and said, no, you ain't doing it. And Mark's not used to people saying no to him. His face was a picture. He was like that. I told you.
I want to give you as well, just again before we wrap it up, I want to give you a chance to rant a little bit on the things you were saying to me about the drug that have come out in America that massively slows the symptoms, that for whatever fucking reason you can't get over. You've been in touch with the MND Society Association, and the fact they sent you back a fucking generic email, I bet they wish they never fucking bothered because you give them out straight away. And not how frustrating, but just I just want the floor's yours. I just want to give you a chance to rant a little bit on that, and if for whatever reason they do see this, for them to fucking back their ideas up and start not worrying about the money so much, and let's worry about saving some lives.
Yeah.
It's
It's just so hard just to get anything from them, really, isn't it? Yeah, too many loopholes, it's too much red tape going on, and it's like the access to the drug and who owns the data, which pharmaceutical owns the drug. Is kind of nobody knows what's happening with it, and we keep giving false promises all the time. You can have the drug on a compassionate ground, but then not all consultants and doctors will prescribe it to you. So it's just all down to like the individual. It is the most promising drug out there for MND at the moment. It's not a cure by any means, but it is being proven to slow things down. And we're not even given the chance to be able to see if it does work.
What harm is in? Try
exactly,
it.
that's what Mark said. He said, what have I got to lose? I am dying anyway.
Yeah.
Like, what have I got to lose? And that's as black and white as it is. We've had an absolute nightmare with them. But like even like getting funding from them and things like that, you've got to apply for funding. You've got to fill in all these forms. Yeah. So he was like a 12-month in, and they was asking us for a proof of diagnosis.
Fucking pathetic. It's
Do you know
pathetic,
what I mean? It was just
pathetic.
yeah. We haven't had
It's almost as if they want you to die before they help you out, because then it's not their problem.
yeah. Yeah, 30% of people are dead by now with a diagnosis. And the CEO of the MNDA, she's actually in the 1% top paid salaries in the UK.
Of course she is. Of course she is.
So I think it's like £102,000 a year.
Of course she is.
Why would you want a cure, like, innit? Essentially, innit?
Not for a non-profit organisation. But anyway, we're not here to slag the MNDA off, because they, I'm not saying they do some good things, and they do, and they really help families. We're just talking from our experience, and I know that we know other people that have experienced the same with them as well. I'm not sitting here and I'm telling them how much of a bad organisation they are, because they're not, because they are doing some brilliant things for people, and the support that they provide. But we've had jack shit.
What's the name of the drug?
Interleukin 2.
You're not here to slag them off. Me and Joe, we will continue to own you motherfuckers till we can get our hands on it. And
But like,
if there's anyone out there watching that can somehow pull some strings, because you don't ever know who ends up watching these things, or if there's a will, there's a way, whatever, please do get in touch if there's something you think could be helpful, if there's some sort of process, some way to speak, I don't know. Anyone who may have any sort of idea on it, drop us a message and
chuck some over Jack's back fence and we'll do it like Mark, innit?
chuck it over the back fence. I'll tell you, they'll never get it. They'll be hand delivered. I'll be chucking it back over his back fence.
Mark loves a freebie as well.
Yeah,
he'll have anything for free.
But yeah, and one last one. Just anyone you want to thank. Obviously, I know you've probably got a massive list of people.
But the people obviously that we want to thank is not just all our family and friends, but the people that is actually going through this as well. I mean, we've got a huge community and networking. Like Mark, we've got a WhatsApp group with Ed Slater, Mark Stewart, John, Pete. You've got a group of you that you talk to on a daily basis. I then speak to like Jess, Louise Stewart, and Joe Slater as well. We have our sort of MND Warrior Wives Club as well.
The wags.
Yeah, it was strange because Louise messaged yesterday saying if logistics allow it, we should have a lunch. If logistics do allow it, I was laughing my head off. But that's the reality. We can't just say, oh, we're going to go for lunch. We've got to plan all these things. But anyway, but without that community and support, because they're the only people that know what we're going through. Yeah. And for us, it is crucial, isn't it? Oh, yeah, David Needham from up in Leicester as well, and Kate. Yeah, he's been from the start with you, hasn't he? Like, just from advice about supplements and training, because he's still in the gym. David's about 15 years in now. He's in a chair, but he's still in the gym. And we held a MND fun day. Just want to touch lightly on that. We had an MND fun day down at our rugby club August bank holiday for families affected with MND. And we had all the kids there, didn't we? We had like bouncy castle. We had, you know, Mark's brother had food going on. We had Disney princesses there. It was a really fun day for us, making memories with our families and with the people that's going through the exact same thing. So that was a special moment for us when it was really, really, really precious. And it was lovely for all our kids to be together as well when they're, and just, you know, we share each other's stories. And but the support that we've had from the MND community have been world class, literally world class. So they are not just friends; they have become family, haven't they? Yeah. But everybody involved, everybody that knows us, we want to thank everybody. The whole community of Abertillery have done so much for us, and still are. You know, people stop me in the street, and Steph, if there's anything you ever need, and I genuinely do believe people when they say that. You hear people saying, "Oh, I'm here for you if you need me," but I genuinely believe that I could call on anyone in our community, and I think
that's a testament to how strong a character you are, because, you know, you've always been like the life and soul, but like this disease hasn't changed that at all. Like even now, you've got everyone in the room in stitches, even when you can barely talk, and like that says a lot. That says a lot, doesn't it? I just wanted to say as well, obviously, thank you for coming on again, the pair of you. Have you still got the GoFundMe pages and stuff like that running live? No. All right, well, if there's anyone out there who, you know, may have, I mean, physio or anything that could support or wants to get in touch with Mark, get in touch with me and I'll pass the details on. That was a year down the line from the last one. And looking at him now, I'm pretty confident we'll be doing another one in 12 months' time as well. Hopefully for episode, I don't know if it'll be 50, but maybe episode 60 or something like that.
We'll have to do it, won't we?
Yeah, but thank you both for coming in and being brutally honest and brutally open, because no one would begrudge you for closing up and not wanting to tell anyone anything. But the fact, I think, that you're both so open and so honest, not only does it help people going through the same thing, but I think it helps people like us to look at it and think, you know, how cruel it is, but at the same time, like, we've all got reasons to be upset in life, but we've also all got reasons we can be positive and look at the silver lining in things as well. So thank you very much both for coming on. I don't know if enjoyed it is the right word, but I think it was a brilliant listen, and I think it's brilliant to kind of just get a little deeper dive into both your lives other than what we see on Instagram. So we'll see you in 12 months' time, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Definitely will.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.